What if I told you that the secret to handling disrespect doesn't lie in changing other people but in transforming yourself? Disrespect is inevitable. It's woven into the fabric of human interactions. It can strike without warning, leaving you frustrated, powerless, or even humiliated. But here's the truth. The power to rise above it has always been within you. Imagine becoming so mentally fortified that no insult, no criticism, no belittling comment could penetrate your peace of mind. Picture yourself navigating through life's storms with composure, using every challenge to grow stronger and wiser. This isn't just a distant ideal, it's the foundation of Stoic philosophy, a timeless guide to mastering both external chaos and inner resilience. Today I'm going to share 7 profound Stoic strategies to handle people who don't respect you. These aren't quick fixes or superficial tips. They're transformative principles that will empower you to rise above negativity, maintain your dignity, and turn disrespect into a catalyst for growth. Whether you're dealing with a disrespectful boss, an unkind friend, or strangers who undermine your worth, these strategies will give you clarity and control. You'll learn how to set boundaries, cultivate emotional strength, and respond with elegance, even when faced with the most challenging situations. So, if you've ever felt dismissed, undervalued, or treated unfairly, this is for you. 1. Set boundaries to protect your peace. Have you ever felt like someone was walking all over you and you didn't know how to stop them? That's where boundaries come in. Boundaries are more than just limits. They're declarations of self-respect. Without them, people will assume they can treat you however they please. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of preserving your inner peace, and setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to do so. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being harsh or confrontational. It's about clearly expressing what you will and won't accept in a calm and assertive manner. For instance, if a colleague constantly interrupts you, you might say, "I value your input, but I'd appreciate it if I could finish my thoughts before we discuss them." Notice how this statement is firm, yet respectful. It communicates your limits without escalating tension. Sometimes, you'll encounter people who repeatedly violate your boundaries despite your best efforts. In these cases, it's important to reassess their place in your life. Distancing yourself or cutting ties with someone who consistently disrespects you isn't a sign of weakness. It's a powerful act of self-care. Remember, you are not obligated to endure toxic behavior simply because of social norms or obligations. Lastly, boundaries aren't just external. They're also internal. Learn to set limits on how much mental space you allow disrespectful people to occupy. If you find yourself ruminating over someone's behavior, gently remind yourself, "I've addressed this, and it no longer deserves my attention." Protecting your peace begins in your own mind. By setting boundaries, you take control of how you're treated and create an environment where respect can thrive. It's not about changing others. It's about teaching them how to treat you by valuing yourself first. 2. Master your mindset. Strengthen your inner fortress. Imagine someone insults you in front of others. Your initial reaction might be to feel angry, embarrassed, or defensive. But what if you could stay completely calm, unfazed by their words? This is the power of mastering your mindset, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that while we can't control external events, we can control how we perceive and react to them. When faced with disrespect, your greatest weapon is your ability to remain composed. Start by acknowledging your emotions, anger, frustration, or hurt, but don't let them dictate your response. Instead, pause and remind yourself that their behavior says more about them than it does about you. Building mental resilience requires practice. Begin by identifying your triggers, those comments or actions that push your buttons. Reflect on why they affect you. Is it because they touch on an insecurity? If so, work on addressing that vulnerability. For example, if someone calls you lazy and it bothers you, ask yourself if there's truth in their statement. If there is, take steps to improve. If not, dismiss it as irrelevant. Daily habits like journaling, mindfulness, or meditation can help you fortify your mindset. Write about situations where you felt disrespected and analyze your reactions. Over time, you'll notice patterns and find ways to respond more effectively. Your mindset is your inner fortress. When you strengthen it, you become unshakable, no matter what life throws at you. Disrespect loses its power when it meets a mind that is calm, deliberate, and self-assured. 3. Focus on what truly matters. Have you ever spent hours or even days obsessing over someone's rude comment? It's exhausting, isn't it? The Stoics teach us to focus on what truly matters: our values, our actions, and our growth. Let everything else fade into the background. Disrespect often feels personal, but it's rarely about you. People's behavior is shaped by their own experiences, insecurities, and emotions. Instead of dwelling on their actions, ask yourself, does this really matter in the grand scheme of my life? Most of the time, the answer is no. Let's say a coworker belittles your ideas during a meeting. Rather than stewing over their words, redirect your energy to refining your ideas and improving your presentation. By focusing on your goals instead of their negativity, you not only protect your peace, but also prove your worth through action. Focusing on what matters also means letting go of the need for validation. True respect comes from living in alignment with your values, not from winning approval from others. When you prioritize your principles, you become immune to the fleeting opinions of those who don't respect you. So, the next time someone disrespects you, pause and ask yourself, does this align with what I value? If it doesn't, let it go. Life is too short to waste on things that don't contribute to your purpose. 4. Lead by example. Be the person you want to see. When someone disrespects you, the temptation to retaliate can feel overwhelming. But Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in leading by example. Responding with grace, respect, and dignity not only protects your character but also sets a powerful example for others. Imagine someone criticizes you publicly. Instead of snapping back, you choose to remain composed and address the issue calmly. You say, I appreciate your feedback. Could we discuss this privately to better understand each other's perspectives? This response diffuses tension and demonstrates emotional intelligence. Leading by example doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means choosing not to mirror negative behavior. By maintaining your integrity, you show others what it means to act with dignity. Over time, your actions may even inspire them to change their behavior. In a world filled with negativity, choosing to rise above is a radical act. Be the person who brings light into the room, even when others try to cast shadows. Your example has the power to influence far more than your words ever could. 5. Transform insults into opportunities for self-reflection. Have you ever paused to consider that an insult could actually be a disguised opportunity for growth? While disrespect often feels like a personal attack, Stoicism teaches us to approach it with a mindset of curiosity rather than defensiveness. Every interaction, even a negative one, can teach you something valuable if you're open to it. When someone disrespects you, instead of reacting immediately, take a step back and ask yourself, is there any truth in their words? Imagine a scenario where a coworker accuses you of being unprepared. At first, their comment might sting, but pause for a moment and reflect. Have there been times when you've lacked preparation? If so, take this as a chance to improve. Turn their negativity into a stepping stone toward becoming more organized and reliable. On the other hand, if their insult is baseless, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of their own issues or biases, not a statement about you. This understanding allows you to let go of their words without letting them impact your self-esteem. Self-reflection also involves examining why certain insults affect you more than others. Does the criticism touch on an insecurity or a fear you have? For instance, if someone calls you weak and it bothers you deeply, it might point to a hidden fear of being perceived as incapable. Use this as a prompt to work on building your confidence and resilience. Turning insults into opportunities for self-reflection requires humility. It's about admitting that you're not perfect, but that you're committed to growth. When you view disrespect as a tool for self-improvement, you take control of the situation. The person who insulted you becomes irrelevant. Their words serve only as a catalyst for your betterment. Remember, the power of an insult lies in how you interpret it. By choosing to use it for self-reflection, You transform negativity into strength, and disrespect loses its sting. 6. Stay indifferent to the opinions of others. One of the greatest lessons from Stoicism is the practice of apatheia, maintaining emotional calm in the face of external judgments. This principle is especially valuable when dealing with disrespect. Other people's opinions, no matter how harsh, are not an objective measure of your worth. They're merely reflections of their own thoughts and emotions, which often have nothing to do with you. Think of someone who disrespects you as a storm. Their words are like the wind and rain, loud and chaotic, but temporary. Instead of standing in the storm, getting soaked, imagine yourself as a steady tree. The storm might rage around you, but it doesn't uproot you. You remain calm and grounded. When someone disrespects you, remind yourself, their opinion is not my reality. You don't need to defend yourself against every insult or accusation. Instead, focus on living according to your values. If you know you're acting with integrity and purpose, other people's negativity becomes irrelevant. This doesn't mean ignoring all feedback. Constructive criticism can be incredibly valuable, even if it's delivered poorly. The key is to separate useful insights from baseless negativity. Ask yourself, does this opinion help me grow, or is it just noise? If it's noise, let it pass. Indifference doesn't come easily. It takes practice. Start small by not reacting to minor slights, like a rude comment or an unfair assumption. Over time, you'll build the mental discipline to remain calm even in more significant confrontations. By staying indifferent to unwarranted negativity, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation. You focus your energy on what truly matters: your own growth, purpose, and inner peace. 7. Walk away with wisdom. When necessary. Not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes the wisest response to disrespect is to simply walk away. This isn't about surrender or weakness. It's about prioritizing your peace and well-being over someone else's negativity. Imagine being in a relationship, whether it's with a friend, partner, or coworker, where disrespect is constant despite your efforts to address it. You've set boundaries, communicated your needs, and even tried to lead by example, yet nothing changes. At this point, walking away becomes an act of self-respect. You're not abandoning the situation. You're choosing to protect yourself from further harm. Walking away doesn't always have to be physical. Sometimes it's about emotionally detaching from someone's behavior. For instance, if a family member continues to belittle you, you might not cut ties entirely, but you can choose to disengage from conversations or situations where their negativity thrives. You're setting a boundary that says, I won't allow your actions to affect my inner peace. Letting go can be one of the hardest things to do, especially when it involves someone you care about. But remember, self-respect comes first. Stoicism teaches us that our time and energy are finite resources. By walking away from toxic people or situations, you create space for relationships and experiences that uplift you. This principle also applies to smaller interactions. If someone disrespects you in a one-off situation, like a rude stranger or an unkind remark online, walking away can be as simple as not engaging. You don't have to fight every battle, especially when the outcome isn't worth the cost to your mental and emotional well-being. Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about choosing peace over conflict. It's a powerful statement that says, I value myself too much to stay where I'm not respected. Disrespect is an unavoidable part of life, but how you handle it defines your character. By applying these 7 Stoic strategies, setting boundaries, mastering your mindset, focusing on what matters, leading by example, using insults as opportunities, staying indifferent to opinions, and walking away when necessary, you can rise above negativity and maintain your dignity. Remember, your worth isn't determined by others' behavior. It's rooted in your values, actions, and self-respect. Live with purpose, protect your peace, and let nothing shake your inner strength. You have the power to navigate any storm with wisdom and grace. This is the Stoic way.